Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. Coming up, Women's Intercontinental Champion defends her championship. Maxine the Free. Why is Becky Lynch all of a sudden want to defend a championship? Maxine the Free. Find out coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Also, too, since 2017, these two haven't fought each other. Russo versus Sami Zayn, one-on-one. Coming up here, Pro Wrestling Show. Also, too, supposed to have this match right here, this World Championship. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Naomi was set to defend against Io Sky. So, turn about fan. Talk about it coming up Pro Wrestling Show on what went down tonight between Naomi and Io Sky. Well, we kick things off with this man right here, the second series champion. That's the answer. We're going to kick off the pump. We're up right here. Raw Ring Pro Wrestling Show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Tim Flag, and going to the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation. It's the Pro Wrestling. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe and skin. Tell a friend. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. All right, let's not waste your time whatsoever. Let's get things started right here, right now. We kick things off with CM Punk. And CM Punk wants to know that adage. Why? Why? Why he believed he got screwed. And that's the same way LA Knight came out tonight and did the same thing to Punk. And Punk and LA Knight don't see eye to eye. And who can knows what these two can be thinking. But Punk and LA Knight, we're going to be teaming up together against the team of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker a little bit later on tonight. So we'll see if they can coexist, can they mesh well together as a team rather than being apart. But we'll have some interesting news to share with you a little bit later on in the show containing CM Punk and LA Knight coming up for it. Show you that coming up. All right. Speaking of that, is there some dissension going on in the Judgment Day? That's the question that everybody wants to know, and everybody feels like that Finn Balor and Donnie Mysterio sometimes see eye and eye, sometimes they don't see eye and eye. We know Finn and Dominic will be part of the historic matches coming up with Triple A. They Dominic probably bragging about him getting his that he'll be going for the Triple A championship. El Vecano versus El Manicano, Dragon Lee and him in a fatal four-way for the Triple A championship, and maybe he was bragging about that to Finn Balor. Finn Balor really didn't care. And Finn Balor was like, whatever, dude, do you. Do you. Speaking of them, they're gonna be speaking of Balor and the rest of them, they're gonna be six-man tag team action anyway. So a lot to point out about that. Balor and the rest of them. Also, too, El Gran Americano was in action as well. You can tell right here. You can show um, him and Dominic. I think they was tag team partners tonight. But yeah, tonight. Well, speaking of Io Sky, we know Io Sky was supposed to challenge Naomi for the women's championship, but that plan went under the wrench. Well, we know Roxanne Perez will be taking on Io Sky for Raquel Rodriguez in the corner. Out of that, um, that being, speaking of that, Sami Zayn was supposed to take on Rusev one-on-one, but before the match got underway, my family tree, Solo Sikora's team came out of nowhere to attack Sami Zayn and beat up Sami Zayn, which enables Sheamus to get involved. Sheamus wanted to get his hands on Russo, but Sheamus also took his hands off on security. Sheamus beating the hell out of security. He wants a piece of Russo real bad. You can tell on that situation. Even right here, my family tree. Even did the big boot to Sami Zayn, laying out Sami Zayn, putting Sami Zayn out of his misery. Did so tonight. Sami Zayn really paying the price one way or another. I can tell you that about Sami Zayn didn't see it coming, but tell by Sammy's tell and stuff like that when it went down. And Sami Zayn seeing what he saw tonight, that being that way, he's in on that. Speaking of that, you saw this right here. Rodriguez taking on Never Killers. Io Scott taking on Roxanne Perez. Roxanne tried to do everything she could and every might she could. Take down Roxanne Perez and Io had an instant classic match. Real instant, real classic match indeed. But at the same token, you saw that Io Sky tried to get involved in Oscar. Io Sky might be feuding next. A lot of Io Sky want to know what went down, what happened. Uh, There was a lot going on. There was a lot of drama, chaos, and mayhem being that way. So how that went down, but luckily, Rhea Ripley was, her corner, so everything's gonna be all right. But she didn't feel it that it was coming her way. We don't know what's, outgoing situation on that. How this will play out visually between them down the road. But Sky kind of realizing that sometimes your friends are not your boys built off. They have. So we'll see how that's gonna go eventually between them. So, yeah, we'll keep a close eye on that one. But speaking of that, the Women's Intercontinental Championship was on the line. As you can tell right here. Um, Becky Lynch set to challenge Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree getting her first singles championship opportunity, and she did so tonight. Maxine Dupree. I don't think she was ready for Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch used Maxine Dupree as a tool, and she did so tonight by applying this armor on her, applying that finisher to make Maxine Dupree kicked out, tap out. Yes, she did. She did so. Maxine Dupree doesn't have a chance in her life to win the Women's Continental Championship. So we don't know what's next for Maxine. But Maxine really was not ready for this opportunity, but the opportunity was given to her one way for sure. Either way it went, stuff like that. But Becky Lynch retained the Intercontinental Championship over Maxine Dupree. But you gotta wonder and think what's next for Becky Lynch. But Becky Lynch might be going against Nikki Bella down the road. So we'll see. It's gonna be a match. Eventually. Well, Bailey keeps on saying that she has a lot going on with her. I don't know what she means about that, but Bailey talking about the problems and how everything's gonna go down, and Bailey's probably gonna be feuding with Live Valkyria down the road. So we'll see how that's gonna go. But Bailey. Well, speaking of that right here, Seth freaking Rollins, the world champion, tried to help Pep Talk Brunson and Braun get them ready for that huge tag team match that they're gonna need coming up against CM Punk and LA Knight. Tonight was a historic night. We saw this, and it wasn't tag team match main event, but there's a lot of tensions going on between LA Knight and CM Punk on what's going on. Maybe Jey Uso tried to calm him down, but this wasn't no calming down to neither guy tonight. As you saw right here that Seth Rollins did try to get involved, but Bronson Reed did use the splash on LA Knight to take down LA. The what went down. Then you see right here, Seth Rollins came out of nowhere and attacked both CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso. Well, the general manager made another call that Seth Rollins is going to be defending his world championship in a fatal four-way, meaning that Seth Rollins will defend the world championship against all three men. Jey Uso, former world champion, CM Punk, the former world champion, and LA Knight in a fatal four-way match that Seth must defend. I don't think Seth Rollins' odds of being world champion are stacked, and how he's going to retain the world championship is going to be the question that everybody wants to hear and see. Seth Rollins going to be able to defend that world championship could go to either man. Who knows? Can maybe Jey Uso win back light on the bottom like he did earlier this year at WrestleMania, winning the World Heavyweight Championship? Only questions. So only time will tell. But leave Seth Rollins right here, eggs on his face. He got to defend the World Championship in a fatal four-way match against all three men: LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, and CM Punk. So that's the question that everybody wants to know. All right, that's going to end the Raw Ring Report. Let's move over to our new segment called the Heat Checker. We replace wrestling hot topics with the Heat Checker, and what's the Heat Checker we got for you right here? Karrion Kross, no longer him and his wife Scarlett are no longer part of WWE, which is unbelievable to me. This man tried to chase for the WWE champ, never got a chance to go for the WWE title. Karrion revealed on his Facebook page, on his YouTube account, that his contract was let go and he was not renewed. And Karrion saying he don't know what he's gonna do next. Well, I knew for a fact Karrion was not gonna go to AEW because they featured a little small. They want to promote small man, put big guys over like Lance Archer or somebody like that. I think Karrion's next move will probably be coming back to Impact, TNA. His flowers he's supposed to recognize, like deserve. That's crazy. That Karrion Cross let go, but this is right here. A lot of people on Twitter right here, they silence and wanting him back right here. This is what they want. We want Cross. I don't think Triple H and the rest of them ain't listening, but hey, to each his own, which is crazy. Bring him in, then you want to leave him out, which is so crazy. Cross's wife, Scarlett, which is crazy to me, that she's no longer part of WWE. She's broke this. My time with WWE has been incredible. It's been the best locker room I've been part of. Now they want to go to bookings and appearance. I mean, a dynamic duo like this, crazy, but only in WWE. They dropped the ball on Karrion Cross and Scarlett. I mean, Karrion should be at least a two-time champion, to be honest with you. But they didn't know one pull the trigger on Karrion, so go elsewhere. Prove them wrong, Karrion. I think you got the talent. Fans like you, so yeah, go elsewhere. Prove Triple H wrong. That be how that's going. So hey, that's what it is. Yeah. Speaking of that, more news. We heard that UFC is heading to Paramount. So it'll be part of CBS and Paramount. Breaking news right here that Paramount UFC is leaving ESPN and heading to CBS, which is crazy. Uh, Never would thought that. Speaking of CBS going back, but this with we got Scarlett Bordeaux. This is what Dana Wright, the president of UFC, said. Like this historic deal with Paramount and CBS is incredible for UFC fans and our athletes. First time ever, fans in the U.S. will have access to all UFC content without a pay-per-view model, making it more affordable and accessible to view the greatest fights on a massive platform. This deal puts UFC among the biggest sport in the world. Exposure provided by the Paramount and CBS networks under this new structure was a huge win for our athletes and anyone who watches and loves the sports. That was quote from Dana White, the president of the UFC, that the deal was made today that the UFC signed a deal with Paramount for 7.7 billion. I think Skydance had something to do with that. So for 7 years, $1.1 billion for Paramount, and Paramount under this new umbrella, which is big, real big. Now, UFC will be a part of that deal, and we'll see. They moved from ESPN to now Paramount, which is crazy, but we'll see how this gonna work out. Hey, big deal right there. Paramount wins the UFC rights for $7.7 billion. So let's see how that's gonna go. How that's gonna be coming forward. So hey, we can see how that's gonna do. Real big, but hey, it is what it is. All right, we're gonna leave you here on the pro wrestling show with Seth freaking Rollins realizing that he got to defend the world heavyweight championship against three different men: CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight in a four-way match along with him for the World Heavyweight Championship. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, Raw Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendra Dix. And so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the NXT Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.